Guten Tag. We've just finished talking about different school subjects in German, and now we want to be able to talk about our schedule. So the most important thing to know about schedules is we need to be able to talk about time with schedules. The word for schedule, by the way, in German is Schulplan. And you can hear that there's two words involved there, the word for school, Schul, or shortened version of Schule, and then Plan, like plan, it's my school plan. So if I were to ask my friend, wann hast du Deutsch? And they happen to have German first block, they might say something like, zuerst lerne ich Deutsch. Zuerst in this case means first I have. Now you're going to notice that I translated this as first I have, even though you see lerne in the circle. Lerne, of course, means to learn, and you can offer a bit of variety within your sentences by switching out the verb. Then maybe I would ask, wann hast du Wissenschaft? When do you have science? Maybe my friend replies by saying, dann ist Wissenschaft. Then is science. And then maybe they're going to know that I'm going to ask the question again, so they're going to keep going and say, danach ist Mittagspause. After that is my midday break. Als nächstes ist Biologie. Next, I have biology, or next is biology. 3 Uhr habe ich Englisch. At 3 o'clock I have English. Or if there's a time that's very near the next hour, instead of saying, for example, at 11:58, 11:58 Uhr, you could say gegen 12, which means at about or at approximately 12, lerne ich whatever class. Finally, we have three options for saying what comes at the end. We could say zuletzt habe ich, for last I have. Am Ende des Tages lerne ich, at the end of the day I have. Or endlich habe ich, finally I have. That last word, endlich, is a very useful word for your vocabulary because you can express your extreme pleasure for something finally coming to an end. For instance, I could say, hey, spring is coming, and you could say, endlich! Finally, winter's coming to an end. Woohoo! So if I were to look at a school schedule, it would look something like this. We've got chemistry, art, choir, lunch, and English. I could say, zuerst habe ich Chemie, dann ist Kunst, als nächstes habe ich Chor, danach ist Mittagspause und endlich habe ich Englisch. Now we're going to back up just a second here. If we look back at our last page, notice that I have several things circled. Zuerst lerne ich, whatever Uhr habe ich, etc. Now, when we start a sentence in German with something other than the subject or the verb, so in this case I have first, then, after that, next, etc. That has nothing to do with the subject and the verb, it's just extra information. If I start my sentence with that extra information in German, I have to switch the subject and the verb around. If this wasn't here, if I didn't have zuerst there, I would say ich lerne Deutsch. I learn German. But because the zuerst jumped in, now I have to flip these around. Zuerst lerne ich Deutsch. A German person would not say zuerst ich lerne Deutsch. That is not grammatically correct. Of course, they would still understand you if you said it that way, but we want to be as correct as possible, and this is a pretty easy fix. You're also going to notice that this looks a little bit like questions in German. If I wanted to ask myself, wait, do I take German? I could say, Moment, lerne ich Deutsch? Okay, and we've already learned that the subject and the verb flip-flop when we have those circumstances, when we're asking questions. So this is yet another time when the same thing happens. The subject and the verb are just switching spots here, but now having nothing to do with the question, instead doing this because we're starting with this additional information. Zuerst lerne ich, 8 Uhr habe ich, gegen 11 lerne ich, etc., etc. You're now going to have some time to practice. We've got a couple of different activities. Please pay close attention to the substitute when they tell you what your activities are going to be. You are going to be getting together with your partnered set. For those of you whose partnered set is not here, please go to the front of the room and find another person in that same situation. Give it your best shot. You will be handing in all of your work at the end of the day today. Auf Wiedersehen. Bis morgen.